welcome back to another weekend vlog. Today we are on the way to Montrose. You can see a very packed car behind us because today we have an event at the lovely Flower Pavilion in Montrose. If you are new here, I am Veronica and I generally make weekend vlogs. I moved from the big city of London to a small town in the northeast of Scotland 7.5 years ago. So generally what you will find on this channel is me exploring my local area. 7.5 years sounds like a long time, but actually there's lots to discover. So yeah, you'll mostly find on this channel me doing exactly the thing that I moved here to do. But anyways, for those of you who don't know, outside of my 9 to 5 work, I also have a health and wellness business. So we are on our way on Saturday morning to go and deliver a wellness morning in Montrose, which is a little bit of a drive from where we stay. Not that far, but a little bit of a drive. So we are aiming to get there early so that we're not in a rush for setting up. We've got gazebos that we need to put in place and other bits and bobs. So yeah, that is our morning. And then after that, I think we are going to try to head along to St Cyrus Beach, which is not too far away from Montrose, to try to capture some content as well, work-wise. And I found 2 farm shops in that direction that we're also going to visit. Sorry, it's a little bit bumpy along this road. One of them is Western Farm, who I've seen quite a lot of on social media. And I can't remember the name of the other one. One is actually in Montrose and one is in Lawrencekirk. So those are relatively on our way, and we'll probably head along to the Barrack Bogs on our way home. We're still not sure what we'll be doing tomorrow. We've ended up with a full day available. I was planning to head to Glasgow for a sort of like a retreat wellness day as a participant, not as delivering, or a place called Cali Collective in Glasgow for their Cali Fest. But unfortunately, my car is in the garage and it's made it very difficult for me to get there. So yeah, that's kind of been scrapped, unfortunately. I was there previous years and it's really good. So if you live in that area or if you're visiting around this time of year in August, they generally have it every year. So definitely worth a visit and actually really reasonably priced. But yeah, I'll check back in with you when we get to the Flower Pavilion. We have just arrived. We're outside the Flower Pavilion. We're a little bit earlier than probably we needed to be, but that's okay. It's going to be outside anyway, so we can go and start getting set up. And last time we arrived a little bit later than we are today, and people were already arriving while we were still setting up, so we kind of want to avoid that today and just be ready to go. We were here last month. Was it 6 weeks ago, a month ago?
It would be like 6 weeks ago,
yeah. 6 weeks ago we were last here, and we sold out then too, and we sold out this time. And both times, because the weather turned around unexpectedly, we were able to open up a couple more tickets, which we've done today as well. So we've got a couple extra people joining us, and we were just going back and forward as to whether we were going to set up gazebos. It is quite still. It's not raining, but the gazebo does offer a bit of shade to people who don't want to be out in the sun, although it's not that bright today. But yeah, we are still going to set them up just to give people those options. We've got our Voyager mats that you would have seen if you watched the vlog when we were in Perth. That was the time we visited Little Trockery and we went and collected all those mats. We've got those today. We've got gazebos, have sound stuff, and that's the kind of bulk of it. But yeah, so we're going to go and get ourselves set up and I will show you what it looks like after. So here we are now. I'm hoping that you will be able to hear me over a little gentle breeze. This is the bowling green. There's Flower Pavilion. And you can see it's a bit of our stuff just getting set up now. So we're surrounded by green. The birds are upsetting Liesel. So we have to turn this into something beautiful. Gazebo setup started.
Morning with her, light upon her skin. Coffee cup before the day begins. Don't go, stay a while. We'll slow it all the way back down.
And that is a wrap. What a good event we just had. Really enjoyed being there and meeting so many new people. And we've had a lot of requests to bring back another event. So that's all in the pipeline now. We just stopped to get petrol, or diesel, I should say. And then we are off to St. Cyrus because it turned out that the farm shop is called Silly Flat. It says Montrose on the address, but actually it's more Inverbervie, which is past St. Cyrus. So we're going to stop at St. Cyrus first and go from there and hopefully go into, what did I say that other one's called? Weston? Very unlikely we'll make the Barry Box today. Barry Box closes at 5 and we'll be about 15 minutes to 10, 15 minutes to St. Cyrus. And then we'll be 22 minutes to Inverbervie from here. So it'll be about 10 minutes or so from St. Cyrus Beach. So yeah, we'll see how we go. The Western Farm is somewhere around Lawrence Kirk. I'm relying on what Google has told me the area. But as we've just discovered, it's not that reliable. So yeah, let's see what we can find in these farm shops. It might well be that we end up at the Barry Box tomorrow again to do our food shop, but let's see. So yeah, I will check back in with you when we get to St. Cyrus.
Time is still and there's nowhere to be. Birds are talking outside, getting space for the words we hold inside to come out. So stay a while, we'll slow it all the way back down. Stay a little longer, it's only getting warmer. Slow it down 'cause time can't wait. Hold on to this moment, watch the sunlight pouring. Keep it like a picture frame. So stay a while and don't go, 'cause we got time, we'll slow it all the way back.
We have just arrived at St. Cyrus Beach and now I'm making my way down, I believe I'm making my way down. I think, oh, Pav's over there, I've left him behind. Okay, now we're making our descent. We're going to go down. This is a grassy bit, so I'm going to keep my shoes on here and take them off when I get to the bottom. What a beautiful work trip. I have never ever been to this beach before. I think I said that. I don't really explore towards kind of Aberdeen way very much. I'd only actually been to Lunan Bay, is another beautiful beach that is highly rated, but actually I think for me this one tops that. So yeah.
Lie awake in the morning with her light upon her skin. Coffee cup before the day begins. Don't go, stay a while, we'll slow it all the way back down.
back home and I'll just start unloading the bags and show you what I got. St Cyrus Beach, beautiful place, and that Silly Flat farm is just amazing. Can't wait to go back there again. And then after St Cyrus, on the way back, we popped into a place called Westerton Farm. Again, both of those places, it just so happened we were going to go to the Barry Box, but we were in Montrose and we needed to go to St Cyrus Beach, and Barry Box is in the opposite direction. So we just happened to just do a quick Google search and was like, is there any farm shops near there? And we found those two, which are brilliant finds, and we would definitely revisit both again. The only reason we didn't end up buying as much from the Westerton farm was because we had gotten a lot of what we needed from the Silly Flat, but we'll definitely go back to both again. Both of them actually had what seemed like, we didn't eat anything out, but nice places to eat as well, or grab a coffee. Both of them looked really, really good. So yeah, we will definitely revisit both of them again. We probably will head to Barry Box tomorrow, just briefly. We don't need a lot, but I would like to get some berries. There were berries in both of those places from a relatively local farm. The only thing was that they were in plastic casing, which I would rather get Barry Box berries because they are in the biodegradable cardboard, which I would prefer. But anyway, I'll show you what I got. So this is the loot from Silly Flat. I'll have to remember these names. First thing I found was this, well, it's not the first thing I found, but first thing I want to show you is this green wheat, which a lot about, and you can see it's good for soups, salads, risottos, pilaf rice. Pure, no nasties in there, and I like to try to cook with different grains and create different types of recipes. So that we got the packaging wise, we also got these organic brown rice vermicelli noodles. This brand, we have had flat brown rice noodles from them before and really like them, and I always struggle to find brown rice vermicelli noodles, so that was a good find. Produce wise, we got a bunch of these beetroots, we got some shallots. I haven't laid this out very neatly today. We got some apples, and I was really happy to see a good variety of colours in terms of tomatoes. So these are the tomatoes, just a little handful, but they'll be really good in salads. We got this huge cucumber, some rainbow chard, relatively small bunch. We're going to put them in a jar of water just to perk them back up. Some curly leaf parsley, some coriander, which you can see, like £1 for that bag is pretty decent. We also got, interestingly enough, this is Westerton Farm, which is the farm we visited later on, but we ended up buying their salad from Silly Flat because we wasn't sure at the time whether we were going to make it there. So we've got that. We also picked up some kale, which I believe is also Westerton Farm. We also got some broccoli and some dill. So lots of herbs and salady bits. We also found one of our favourites. So if you watched the video where we went to the Barry Box Market, we bought these Pitt's Candy venison kebabs, and they have just, yeah, very pure, good ingredients in it. And we really like them, so we were happy to find them in the farm. We also found goat's cheese. They do sell this goat's cheese in big supermarkets. Usually have to go to Tesco's for it, so yeah, pleased to be able to support a small business instead. Felt like I bought much more, but actually it's still a good amount, obviously, and that's a good kind of, not quite a weekly shop, but almost there for us. And from the Westerton Farm, you can see much smaller kind of haul from there, but to be expected when you go to two farm shops. We picked up 2 different types of eggs, 1 chicken and 1 duck. We needed quite a bit of eggs because tomorrow I'm going to be making egg fried rice, and that's probably going to use up about a pack when I'm cooking for 5 people, so I will use that up. We also saw that they had a lot of these baked items, which the ingredients were pretty decent. So we got this caramelized red onion and goat's cheese tart, which we're probably going to have tonight because we've been on the go. And we also got these asparagus and cheese crowns, which look good as well. They had lots of stuff in there, and actually they must do pretty well because a lot of them were sold out. We got 2 red onions and 1 lime. We also picked up, I'm not going to show you them all because they pretty much look the same, but they also had some refill stations of chocolate covered bits and bobs. So we got raisins, peanuts and honeycomb and ginger, just to kind of pick out through the week when we need something sweet, because I think I've said that to you, we like to eat at home mostly. Anybody who watches this channel and has been watching a few of these farm shops will know that they're not complete without beef sausages. So they had 2 options. So they had refrigerated and frozen. So tonight we are going to have these beef sausages in those rolls, probably with a salad on the side. So we got the non-frozen ones, but we will eat sausages again during the week. So we picked up this pack. This is from a farm called Drumsleeve Meats. Never heard of them before. And then we also got some of their rainbow carrots. I picked up loose ones, and then when we got to the till I realised that they had planets already, but never mind. And that is it. Not my favourite place to stop, but we also needed to pop into Tesco's for some goat's milk, because even though some of the farms did have goats, they didn't have any goat's milk. We also picked up these seeded rolls, which we're actually going to use a couple of these today. And surprisingly enough as well, none of the farms really sold chicken, which was painful to buy from Tesco's, because you can see, look at the price per pack. Absolutely ridiculous for organic chicken. I would have loved to have found a source on our travels, and I needed 3 for tomorrow's dinner, because I said I was cooking for the fam tonight, but it'll actually be tomorrow now because we've just run out of time. But yeah, look at that. Absolutely ridiculous.
Birds are talking outside, getting space for the words we hold inside.
It is Sunday, 5 to 1 to be exact. We were not moving particularly fast today. Well, actually we were, because we were up early and out, and then basically collapsed. Anyway, so we had our cacao, we had our breakfast, and now we've just come to the Barry box for the last bit of shopping. Mostly really all we need is probably another box of eggs, because I think I'm going to use a lot of the eggs up today, berries and our usual Sunday pastry. So let's head into the Barry box and I will check in with you again later.
To come out, so stay a while, we'll slow it all the way back down.
I'll do a quick overview in the car just because we'll be short of time later. So we've got some raspberries, blackberries, strawberries as usual. We've got some grapes, eggs, and as always I end up buying more stuff, of course. A white onion, 2 packs of these minute steaks. We've had them before. We discovered this brand on our antique shop in the Scottish Antique Centre, and now Pav is a Bombay mix fan of theirs. We got our usual date pastries. We always have that on a Sunday. So I got my pan au chocolat, and Pav got a cinnamon swirl with this creamy stuff on top. There wasn't much there today, which is not surprising because Saturday is always super busy. And I got this little loot for the fam because I'm doing dinner for them tonight. I'm not going to have time around my class to make a dessert, but I think they'll be happy with that.
To this moment, watch the sunlight pouring, keep it like a picture frame. So stay a while and don't go, 'cause we got time, we'll slow it all the way back.
I am home and looking looking a little bit windswept because we stopped off at Lintrathen Loch. Actually, we stopped off at the Wandering Bear for a coffee first off, just because I needed to pick up the sticky sauce again. I picked that up, I think 2 vlogs ago, and made chicken with egg fried rice for dinner, which was really nice. So that's what I'm making for everybody for dinner tonight. It takes a bit of preparation. So it's 3 o'clock now, and my class is at 5. So I think last time when Pav and I were doing it in his kitchen, it took us about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I'll start the prep and I'll do as much as I can and then probably end up eating it after my class. We stopped in at the Wandering Bear to pick that up, and we also grabbed a coffee while we were there and sat outside. It was really nice and sunny. It's warm enough to sit in a jumper, but I wouldn't sit without this on. It would be too cold. So we only had coffees there. And then the Wandering Bear is opposite Lintrathen Loch. So what we did is we then quickly nipped over to the loch and sat out by the water and had our usual Sunday pastries that we do every single week. That is our idea of Sunday date, which is a nice little routine that we have. And then we came home. So yeah, time for me to go downstairs and start cooking, although I am pretty tired. I was saying earlier we were a bit slow getting going this morning because we dropped a friend to Forfar in the morning, which is not a particularly long drive, so that he could get a bus, Ember bus, which was at somewhere around 6 o'clock. So we were up at 5 and then out of the door by 4:30. It's not far to get to Forfar, but if you're not driving, this town is quite remote. In that sense, it is a town, but the transport links are not easy. So you generally have to go through to Forfar in order to get to any of the major places, which is a huge improvement, because a few years ago you were talking about public bus and you'd have to go to Dundee to get anywhere. But the introduction of the Ember bus has been a really good thing for us. Anyway, probably boring for a lot of people who don't live locally, but we were up dropping our friend through. We did come back and go back to bed afterwards, but obviously that broke up our sleep. So yeah, it means that we weren't particularly rested. And then we got up, slowly had our cacao. I don't really show that, but we do ceremonial grade cacao in the morning, which is done on the stove. We don't actually do a ceremony every morning, but we use ceremonial grade cacao. We used to use powdered, but then I had been to a couple of cacao ceremonies, have as well, separately, and then it was really hard for me personally to return back to the powdered version. I found that I actually wasn't really drinking it because I could tell the difference, and I just didn't like the texture anymore. Whereas before that, I really loved the powdered one. We switched to ceremonial grade in the morning, which I'm taking credit, I don't brew it on the stove at all, Pav does. And I take mine with a little bit of goat's milk and a little bit of honey, and that is our morning routine. We have that before anything else, and then we had some breakfast, and by the time we were leaving the house it was gone 12. We got to the Barry box at I think 5 to 1, so we weren't particularly fast this morning. And then we were in a bit of a rush for me to get back and start preparing dinner before my class, because if I start doing that in the evening, we're not eating until about 9 o'clock, which is not good for anyone. So anyway, I'll stop boring you with all those updates, and I'm going to go down and start food. This is me settling down for the night and ready very much so to sign off from this video. You can probably see I am very much ready for bed and very much looking tired enough that I need to get some sleep. I'm hoping that the lighting in here is not doing me justice, because I look super tired on screen. But anyway, I've settled down with my book in its book cover. I really like this. This was a charity shop find, and I like the privacy of this book cover. Not that I typically read anything that's particularly scandalous, I just like the idea of having a book cover. If you are curious about what I'm reading, I am reading Dr. Brian Vai's Messages from the Masters. If you've been watching this channel, then you might know that I teach Tai Chi Qigong, which is very much a holistic practice. And yeah, I have quite an interest in sort of energy work and meaning of life, purpose of life, that kind of thing. So if you are interested in anything like that, that book might be an interesting read for you. I highly recommend his first book, which was Many Lives, Many Masters. I've recommended that to a lot of people and they very much enjoyed it. But anyway, this is me signing off. I hope that you enjoyed this weekend vlog. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more, then do remember to subscribe. And as always, actually, I'm going to end this vlog rather than saying places to visit recommendations. If you have any books that you would like to recommend that fall into that kind of category that I might be interested in, then please do leave it in the comments below. But other than that, I will see you next time.